The center cannot hold.
We're still here.
New rule, if you fell for that hoax this week that you could protect your privacy on Facebook by posting a notice from the Rome statutes, get off the internet and go chase a ball into the street.
Yes.
Trust me, no one wants your intellectual property. New rule, the Supreme Court must rule on the constitutionality of those signs that say, you break it, you buy it. Is that really enforceable? You only see these signs in stores designed to make you break stuff. Hi, and welcome to Fragile Memories. Everything we sell is tiny and breakable and stacked haphazardly along aisles that are way too narrow. Oh, you just broke that glass turtle. $87, please. New rule, from now on, that awkward moment in every meeting where you hear a phone vibrate and everybody starts discreetly patting their pants to see if it's theirs shall be known as an Amish circle jerk. New rule, presidential candidates have to stop talking about what they'll do the first day in the White House, especially if they're Chris Christie and they have the same chance of being president as being Miss Hawaiian Tropic. Chris Christie says the first thing I'll do is I'll fly Air Force One over the South China Sea to send an unmistakable message to China. And that message is, this is a really powerful plane if it can get off the ground with me on it. New rule, as long as Putin is taking Syria off our hands, we should ask him if he'd also like to handle Cosby. Because obviously everything we try just makes him stronger, so... Come on, Vlad, we know you own poison if there was ever a guy who deserved a little something slipped in his drink. New rule, the FDA has to admit they have no clue and stop issuing dietary guidelines altogether. A few weeks ago, they reversed themselves on cholesterol. This week it was, we told you low fat. Now we say fat is good. Oh, whatever. Have you been to the mall lately? Trust me, no one is listening to you anyway. New rule, the gay British man whose mother let him artificially inseminate her so that he could have a son had better not forget Mother's Day. My mother wouldn't even get me a pellet gun. New rule, someone has to explain why Pitbull performed at the Country Music Awards. He doesn't sing country music, he doesn't wear a big black hat, he doesn't drive a truck, and 90% of the audience wants to build a wall to keep him out. New rule, millions of YouTube viewers who can't stop watching this video where robots fall over have to admit they miss Mitt Romney. Operations are people. Screw the 47%. The trees are just the right height. Just the right height. Just the right height. New rule, since a new study finds that drowsy driving causes 100,000 car crashes a year, we need to get Adele off the radio. White lives matter. New rule, if carrots ever rise up and destroy the human race, we can't be surprised. After all, we ate their babies. New rule, now that many towns in America are banning sledding because the parents of children who got hurt sued, someone has to tell me how not to hate absolutely everyone in this stupid country. New rule, if you find yourself saying, no, doggy, this isn't good for you, maybe it isn't good for you. Dogs eat shoes. If they can't have what you're having, take a hint. New rule, get out of the way. Jesus Christ, is this even real, or is this an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm? Because I would like to think that when this runner's wife asked, how'd you do today? He said, well, I would have done better, but you know, the Jews. New rule, someone has to explain how those Burning Man hippies can erect giant temples in the desert in a few days but it takes 6 years to fix a pothole on my street. New rule, the South Bend, Indiana school board that lowered its GPA requirement for athletes to 1.5 has to go ahead and lower it all the way to 0. Come on. They're a bunch of jocks. As long as they know most of the alphabet, that's fine. And there's only 4 quarters in football. Why bother with 5 and up? New rule, please tell me this isn't what it looks like.
Oh.
And if it is, someone please explain to this animal trainer that the sea lion is supposed to balance balls on its nose. New rule, the Chinese scientists who developed Chia, the lifelike female robot with the ability to talk and recognize facial expressions, had better get used to hearing the question, "You're about to have sex with me again, aren't you?" New rule, now that a study says plastic in the ocean is causing reproductive problems in oysters, we must admit we're screwed when the things that make us want to screw are having trouble screwing. New rule, Zayn Malik can just go ahead and quit One Direction for all I care. I mean, whatever. But I think after everything we've been through, I at least deserve the common respect of being told face to face. Just tell me 2 things, Zayn. Which one in the band were you? And where were you during the Boston Marathon?
Oh.
New rule, we don't need directions on soap. If you're old enough to read this and yet still confused about how the whole soap thing works, I don't want you in my bathroom to begin with. New rule, if the LAPD really wants us to believe they're looking out for our best interest, they must remove the quotes from their slogan. So it doesn't seem like they're saying to protect and serve, ironically. New rule, now that everybody's carrying electronic devices constantly needing to be charged, airports must move electrical outlets to where the people are sitting. Or better yet, put the electrical outlets on bar stools so you and your iPhone can both get juiced. New rule, I'm all for labeling foods that contain GMOs, but never tell me what tilapia is. You realize we've been eating it for years now, and no one's ever come right out and said that it's fish. How come all the other fish are dead, but we're up to our eyes in something called tilapia? Please, leave me my illusions. If tilapia is a fancy word for anchor baby, I don't want to know. New rule, since no one has ever used the extra buttons found in the pocket of a new suit, stop putting extra buttons in the pocket of new suits. I'd say that extra suit buttons are as useless as a third nipple, but at least with a third nipple, you can make a few bucks betting people that you have a third nipple. New rule, when you put the word out that, quote, Mr. Trump speaks for Mr. Trump and nobody but Mr. Trump speaks for him, you can't do it through a spokesman. New rule, someone has to tell squirrels to slow down. No one's going to eat your food. New rule, now that McDonald's has announced they're going to start testing fresh beef in the burgers, they have to tell us, what the hell is in them now? Or at least give us a hint which part isn't true, the fresh part or the beef part. I'll make it even simpler. Did it ever go moo, and how recently? New rule, after Apple develops the software to help the feds hack into that terrorist-locked iPhone, they have to develop a new technology so that when my phone vibrates in my back pocket, it doesn't sound like I'm farting. New rule, now that we've opened a Domino's in Milan, the Italians should at least try our fake pizza. It's only fair since we're trying a fake Mussolini. New rule, everyone has to face the fact that when I say I haven't seen a movie and you respond with a dumbstruck, really? You haven't seen it? That my answer isn't going to change. Like I'm going to crack under your expert interrogation and own up to the fact that I secretly love the Twilight movies, which I don't because I've never seen them, and besides, Bella totally ruined everything by choosing Edward over Jacob, and all right, you got me this time. New rule, the British teenagers who invented a condom that changes color when exposed to STDs have to tell us what the hell they've been doing after school. When I was that age, I made a volcano for the science fair. But hey, kids, congratulations for making a condom that no man will ever buy. The pregnancy test is scary enough, and that's not on your dick. New rule, stores that sell Lord of the Rings nylons can't call them clothes. They have to call them birth control. This doesn't say my body is a wonderland. It says my vagina is a mine shaft operated by trolls. Guarded by monsters and best appreciated by dwarves. New rule, now that they've declared that bacon causes cancer, the World Health Organization must face the fact that instead of reconsidering bacon, most Americans are going to reconsider cancer. I can see it now on the websites that real Americans read. Cancer, bad for you or government hoax. Cancer, eat all the bacon you want and still lose weight. And you know who else's cells mutate uncontrollably? The X-Men. New rule, Apple must be commended for investing $850 million to help build a solar farm in California. The upside of the Apple investment is that the project will provide energy to 60,000 homes. The downside is that around dinner time, your house will lose its charge. New rule, now that Kim Jong-un has created a wonder drug that cures cancer, AIDS, and Ebola, or so he claims, he must invent a lab coat that fits him. New rule, Joe Biden must wear those aviator sunglasses at all times. I know you're the vice president of the United States, but somehow they make you look important. New rule, if James Bond is on a secret mission in Spectre, which involves not being seen, someone has to tell me why he's wearing all black in the snow. He doesn't look like a spy, he looks like a choreographer. My name is Fosse, Bob Fosse. New rule, if you're one of the 136 million people who watched the 4-minute video of a laughing housewife in a Chewbacca mask, you are never again allowed to say the words, "There's 4 minutes I'll never get back." And from now on, when any mom walks in on a kid whacking off and says, "What are you doing?" the kid gets to say, "Making better use of my time than you." New rule, now that Panera Bread says it will eliminate at least 150 artificial ingredients from its menu by the end of next year, they have to tell us, how many artificial ingredients does Panera Bread have? There aren't that many artificial things in LSD. And you know, Panera Bread is based in St. Louis, just like Monsanto. I'm starting to think they might be the same company. Like some guy in a lab coat was messing around with chemicals, and then, holy shit, I made a panini.